ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Vicki Chats podcast. I have a very special guest in the studio with me today, Norm Johnson, Executive Director of the Family YMCA of Black Hawk County. Welcome back, Norm.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. And from Fort Dodge to Louisville to Waterloo, Norm Johnson has spent his career building stronger, healthier communities through connection, compassion, and purpose. As Executive Director of the Family YMCA of Black Hawk County, Norm leads with heart, creating spaces where people of all ages feel encouraged, supported, and inspired. Welcome back to Community Pulse, Norm, the YMCA Series. Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you didn't know, it's the every third Tuesday of each month at 2 p.m. on the radio station and then around the clock right here at Vicki Chats. And Norm Johnson joins us to spotlight the people, the programs, the partnerships making a difference across Black Hawk County. Now this month, we're diving into excitement surrounding the Black Hawk County YMCA 3rd Annual Triathlon on Sunday, September 13th, 2026 at George Wyth State Park. The race begins at 9 a.m. and features a 500-meter swim, a 16.5-mile bike ride, and a 5K run with both individual and relay options available, making it perfect for seasoned athletes, beginners, and teams alike. We'll also spotlight the YMCA classes, swim programs, training opportunities, and wellness support, helping participants prepare for race day with confidence.
That's right.
Yay, I love it. So tell me, September's triathlon, Norm, is getting closer. What's your favorite part of the race day energy at George Wyth State Park?
I think it's really right before the athletes start. So maybe that 30 minutes, they're maybe getting their toes in the water.
Yes,
you can start feeling a little bit of the adrenaline, a little bit of the nerves are shaking off.
Yes.
The interaction between the athletes. Those are all the to me that's the cool part of it all.
I love it. So be honest, what's tougher, the swim, the bike, or the run?
Well, for every individual, that's going to be different. I would say probably 70% of the athletes, the swim is their greatest challenge, and then it would go to, probably favor into the run as the next challenge. But again, there's there are people that's all they've done is swim, so they're training themselves on a bike, training themselves on the run. So. I don't, and then there's a big difference between swimming in a pool and swimming in open water. So even if you're a seasoned swimmer, it takes a little bit just, to gain your bearings where you're at and navigate between a crowd of people. There's it was no different than biking and no different than running.
Right.
So all of those things go into being just a little different, unique experience for a competition.
So do you remember your very first triathlon experience and what hooked you emotionally?
Yeah, so for me, I did an indoor triathlon and this was in Okoboji, and it was just an opportunity to, say I've done one, B, to help spark some participation as we went through that.
Yes.
And, I was a fair swimmer, not a great swimmer. The biking weekend we did on the indoor cycle bike. So, I teach classes at that time. I was teaching 2 or 3 times a week. So that was not a big deal. And again, I'm not the fastest runner ever. I did when I did the Hudson Pump and Run back in 2022, I got an enormous amount of time knocked off my time for doing bench press ahead of time, 15 seconds per rep, right?
Wow.
But on the same hand, I ran like a 29-minute 5K, so I was slow. Thank goodness for the extra, 27 times 15 off the time. So
exactly.
Again, the participation and just the camaraderie you see between the athletes is really fun.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So if you could give first-time triathletes one piece of mental advice, what would it be?
Stay in your own lane. I mean, when I say that, don't try to compare. And really, we should talk about this in almost everything we do.
Yes.
It's fantastic to have benchmarks. And I think benchmarks are important. But if we're comparing ourselves to somebody next to running to or riding to or swimming next to or any of those type of things, I say just know what the more practice you do, what your capable of.
Yes.
You know when to push yourself. Those are the things I think that it's easy to get amped up in
Yeah.
a race, and then all of a sudden, you red line, you're pushing
Yes.
yourself too hard, and then it makes it even more challenging than what it was. So
Exactly.
that would be it.
Yes, that's great advice. So you've built a career around encouraging people. Who motivates you when your own tank feels empty?
Yeah, well, so I think that's, there are so many things around us that can motivate us, and I mean, so typically in the morning, I'm looking at Motiversity on YouTube TV is one of those things I look at, and they have
Ooh,
6 to 7 minute pieces. They've got 30-minute
sweet.
pieces. Depends. I'm working out early in the morning, then I'll have that in my earbuds,
Nice.
or those type of things. Again, I swear up and down that I have the greatest job where I can walk around the facility
Yeah.
5, 6, 7 times a day and see somebody that maybe doesn't have the God-given ability that I've been blessed with, but they're
Yes.
trying to work harder. They're doing their
Yeah.
best. They're pushing themselves. To me, that's inspiring to
Yes.
see, just to see the amount of members we have that are just trying to make themselves better. So
Agreed.
it's a great part of the role.
So what's your favorite small victory you see when someone starts training at the Y?
Oh, is coming back. Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, those, making it 30 days in a row, then 60 days in a row.
Yeah.
And typically when those things start happening, I don't necessarily mean days in a row.
Yeah.
If they're there 2 or 3 days a week
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
6 weeks, 8 weeks,
Yes.
those are victories because typically that's now starting to be a part of their lifestyle. And I think
Right.
those are the important pieces.
Mhm.
I think there's a long time where exercising and our fitness levels stop being about how our clothes fit, what the scale says,
Right.
but what we get by able to do that. So, I mean, to
Exactly.
me, those are the important pieces to remember.
Right. So if listeners joined one YMCA class tomorrow to help prep for the triathlon, which one would you recommend
Oh
first?
gosh, I would. So we have. I probably would say that we have an adult swim or a swim class that we are taking people through. It's almost like a
Ooh.
master swim. There's a workout. There's a coach,
Oh,
and they
cool.
scale it to your abilities. We started these open water
Wow.
swims, which I think are also going to be really important down at George Wyth State Park. And so again, if you're not familiar with swimming in open water, do it once
Yeah. Yeah.
before you try it.
Right.
And so I think those are really important to be able to do. Then I would say even uh, do your own transition. So think about the pool. Think about getting on a bike really pretty quick afterwards and then going into a run. And I'm not talking for the full triathlon, but
Mhm.
if you did small bursts of that, maybe 3 miles on the bike
Yeah.
and 1 mile on the as a run, but just understanding how your muscles and legs and core and everything and your cardiac tank
Yeah.
is going to and how they're going to feel after that.
There you go. I love it so much. So, what's a song that is guaranteed to end up on your workout playlist?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, well, I would say a lot of if something, it's going to be 80s driven for sure. Although
Yeah.
I was going to say Enter Sandman, and I believe that's 1990, so that's usually somewhere in there. But yeah, some type of it's almost always classic rock.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it. I love that so much.
Huh.
So, between meetings, events, and race prep season, how do you personally stay balanced and energized, Norm?
Yeah, first of all, I love what I do, and so
Yes.
that's huge. Surround
Mhm.
myself with good people. I mean, those are important
Yes.
pieces. Strong family base, strong
Right.
work life base. And again, even though I tend to put longer hours in that than some people like kind of look and cringe,
Yes.
so much of it's just connecting, it's talking, it's checking on our
Ah,
members, checking
that's
even on our
sweet.
staff team, checking on,
Ah,
what else is going on in the community. So I
right.
think those are, to me, those are I get excited about seeing the success of our members,
Yes.
about seeing our facilities continue to improve, and really seeing our community continue to improve and
Mhm.
work hard.
Yes.
So.
The other day, I had a beautiful moment at the YMCA when all the children from the childcare came out and they were all lined up against the wall and they were talking.
Yeah.
And I just went around and talked to them and they were just beaming and glowing with joy. And I said, "You love the Y, don't you?" And I did one of these. Then I went into the elevator. They all came around and started doing this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a fun part. And, and again, it's great to, our childcare, I think we forget about that. If we're basically 3 or older, they're doing some kind of safety around water, learning, even with our little ones once in a while. But, this is a regular part of the curriculum. They have the gymnasium. They have that big fun kids club they get to play in.
Yes.
We have the track they get to utilize. So they have the opportunity to utilize quite a bit of the facility. We've done some special yoga classes for the kids.
Cute.
So,
I love it.
Again, we are a huge believer that healthy aging does not start at 55.
No.
We model it early on and make it fun. And as long as the kids think they're having fun, they don't see it as work.
Right.
And then that's just what kids do.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I had to remind myself, Vicki, you cannot have another baby. Unfortunately.
We'll let you come do reading buddies with the kids if you want to.
There you go. Oh, I would love that. So the race includes a 500-meter swim, 16.5-mile bike ride, and a 5K run. How approachable is that format for beginners wanting to challenge themselves?
Yeah, I think again, it's something that you're not gonna jump the week before and say, I think we're going to try this, probably, right?
Right.
But it certainly is attainable. Again, just know what your capability is. So if it's going to take you 30 minutes in a swim, just don't be sad about that. No. Don't be stressed about that. No. Just be safe about it. Those are the pieces. Finish the race. Kind of have enough training in you to kind of know what my abilities are as we go through that, and try to stay within your abilities. Right. You're going to get the last dose of energy and adrenaline already when you're coming through some of those pieces. So that's really. It really is. It's meant to be a sprint triathlon to be attainable for, again, as you mentioned, the very seasoned competitors down to first or second times or bucket list. So.
And then individual and relay options are available. Why is it important to offer multiple ways for people to participate?
Well, again, I think as we look at the accessibility and we're for all, and if we have somebody that's just terrified of the water, hey, we recognize that and we try to work hard through those type of things, but it just may not be their game, or maybe a 500-meter swim may be too much, or somebody just doesn't have the ability. Maybe that's all they do is swim and do a little bit of running, but they don't have a bike they feel comfortable with. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why we do that. And I think it's just a nice offering that we're able to do. And I anticipate, we started off with 1 or 2 teams, and then it's been 5 or 6. My guess is we'll end up having 10 or better of the teams that come in and compete.
I love that. Yeah. So tell me this, if you were creating your dream relay team, who would handle the swim, the bike, and the run?
Yeah, well, so my brother would do the swim because he's a religious swimmer. I would have to default to the bike because I would just as soon not do the run. And then we have a board member, Alicia Allen, who is actually preparing for this thing.
I love her.
She loves to run, and so that would be. I think I might pull her in on one of those things. So
Alicia, if you're watching, we love you. You're a rock star.
She is.
Yes. Okay. For someone hearing triathlon and instantly feeling intimidated, what would you say to calm those fears?
Yeah, again, just stay at your own pace. Stay at your own pace. Yeah. I think so many triathletes. Again, there's a whole phase where they're doing it to be competitive. They're doing it to finish, to begin with, to hone their skill, to improve each time. Then there's that transition where, all right, I might be able to have a stronger event in my age class, or I might, as I found out this is really one of my callings, and I might be able to do, now I might be able to compete for a top 3 or for a podium or even win that thing. So it many times doesn't happen on the first go.
Right. So cycling confidence can be a hurdle for many adults. How can listeners safely build endurance before race day in the cycling realm?
Yeah, well, again, I think as much as I enjoy the cycling classes inside, you got to get on the bike, be outside, get on the road, find the trails, those type of things that you're able to do. Again, safety is always incredibly important. 40, 50 years ago, we never thought about a helmet, but doggone it, it's, wear a helmet now.
Yes, wear a helmet.
Obey the traffic signs. There's a number of trails around this area. Take advantage of the beautiful facilities we have here and do that. And again, there's all kinds of training techniques and technology now to say, all right, I want to be at this pace. And you can kind of find that stroke cycle pace that's going to allow you to go for longer periods of time more comfortably.
Right. And when I was running before the knees gave out, I just power walk now, but I would start at the Y, go all the way through the George Wyth State Park, up to the Astor Region Theater and back again. Just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, that's 10 miles exactly. So you can make that your goal. I'm going to get up to the 10 miles. I'm going to get up all the way to the Astor Region through George Wyth and back. And, it's beautiful and invigorating. The sights, the sounds, the scenery, you'll be doing it within, I'm guessing, a couple of weeks. You'll be up to that 10-mile mark.
And that's all contained on trail, right?
I know,
that's the cool thing about that.
Trail. So safety, yes.
So I think that's, those are the things you look at, and you have safe marks to be able to go through that. And you're still going to have walkers or runners or other things out there, but I would agree. It's being out there in nature. Don't put a pair of headbutt earphones on.
No.
Enjoy the sounds around you. Also makes you a little safer too.
Right. So are there group fitness classes or accountability opportunities at the Y that help participants stay motivated throughout the summer?
Well, I would, So my famous tagline is, okay, you're going to bike outside, run or walk outside. Where are you going to strength train at?
Right.
So
yes, exactly.
We have, for years we've known the benefits of strength training, and in the last 10 years we've just seen some incredible. It's almost like it's a new fad, like it's just come around, and we're like, really, okay. But strength training is so incredibly important for everybody, and I think that's the piece. It's not just athletes. It's we recognize there's tremendous benefits in strength training for women and bone density and osteoporosis. We recognize the importance of strength training in our seniors for healthier moving, and recognizing that whether it's in a strength training class, which again, and maybe anywhere from 30 minutes to 40 minutes, it gives you some really safe movements. You have a trainer who is our instructor, who's really taking you through the safest realms. You have multiple different exercises that you're working through. So to me, those are some of the classes. I also would think, if you're working hard on mobility, it's hard to do that on your own, but you have a teacher that's taking you through, power yoga or a yoga class or some mobility. These cardio kickboxing classes are an absolute hoot, and different pieces that we maybe haven't done a lot of. And it's hard to do those things outside. So again, those are the pieces that I think really help keep driving traffic into the YMCA and into the facility.
I love that. Beyond physical fitness, what emotional or mental benefits do participants often gain while training for an event like this?
Yeah, so I mean, the physical part, I think for sure, as you talk about, I think there's that whole mind, body, spirit that goes in, and so the mind is such an amazing computer. It also will help determine whether we're going to make it or determine whether we're not going to make it.
Right.
And I think most of us find that if we can talk ourselves through this, 5 more steps, 10 more steps, 2 more minutes, whatever it may be, we're going to be able to work through that. So I think the mind is, we learn what's true, what's an ache and what's a real pain, and adapt through that. And then, when you accomplish it, and that sense of pride, you don't have to tell anybody about it, and you didn't have to break a record, but hey, you finished this or you did this, and it was so much easier than the day, week, or year before. And I think those are all the things that I think those are the pieces what we gain out of our exercise
I
calling.
love that. And there's early bird pricing going on, right?
For the triathlon.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had the first phase of it. Now we're in the second phase of that. And that goes through the month of June. And then July, again, I recognize that people are, well, what's it going to be like? Am I going to be ready? Sure. Here's another chance to save yourself a few dollars and come to a great event.
Right. And thank you for allowing me to MC it each year.
Yeah, no, that's been fun.
Such an honor. Thank you.
And the crowd loves that. People love that. They like to hear their name called. They like to. It's great to have some social interaction as we go through those pieces. So
it's beautiful.
No, I think that's a fun part of the event.
I love that so much. Plus, thank you for allowing us to give away 3 free entries again this year to our listeners and viewers. Yay!
Yeah, and especially if you're again, that might be that nudge.
Yes.
That will get you to compete. And who knows? You might compete and say, all right, hey, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it. No thanks again. Yeah. Or you might say, hey, I enjoyed that. I wouldn't mind doing another one, or I think I can do a little bit better this time.
Yes.
Or, man, I really like this a lot. I'm going to do 5 of these a year.
Right. And one of our winners last year was on the podium.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So tell us, or don't tell me because I already know, but what's the atmosphere like on race morning at George Wyth State Park once that 9 a.m. start time arrives?
Yeah, I think it's super positive. Again, I think by then, once people hit the water, nerves are gone. They're in it. They're committed. They recognize that. And again, I think there's so much camaraderie. People are cheering for each other. I've never seen any animosity at all in any of those pieces whatsoever. And again, people have been very, I know to our judges and to our trail monitors and all those pieces in the transition, we're just there to help them. So we recognize that the athlete's been really gracious to those people who most of them are all volunteers. So I appreciate that. As far as I know, I haven't written a check to any of those volunteers out there. So we appreciate it. Again, I think those are, that's a big part of that race day. And then at the end, the finish line, how many people actually will be out there and waiting to see other people come in, waiting for a friend, waiting for somebody you just met. Exactly. So it's I see it being that kind of a triathlon has that certain brotherhood that I think attaches with it.
Absolutely. And our beautiful Teresa will do the national anthem again.
Yes.
I hope.
Oh yeah. Nope. Got that locked in. So that's awesome. Yeah.
She's amazing. And her husband is an incredible racer. Yes, that's his life.
Very much so.
He's doing these. And she goes around and supports him. Wow, I love that so much. So any closing thoughts, Norm, about the race?
Well, again, I think if you're on the fence, try one of these intermediate classes, training classes, contact the Y. We'll get you in with one of the trainers, whether it's Penny, whether you need a little more help in some swimming, whether you need a little more help with the biking or whatever it may be. We can help guide you in some of those pieces. We just did the Couch to 5K. We're just finishing that up. And that was, again, there's a lot of people that never thought 5K, that's not reachable for me, that are doing a 5K now. I think those, that we're there to help and recommend, and we don't necessarily need to be over your shoulder all the way through. We can help talk about a training plan and what it may look like for you to be successful in this.
So this Couch to 5K, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, this thing is geared towards somebody who's a very beginner runner. That really, it's again kind of a goal to be more active and like to be active through running. And so it was a 6-week program where they went through some mobility and stretching. Started off small with some did a couple 400s and then maybe worked up to a half mile. And then they did some smaller runs, mile and a half. And again, this was all build up over a little bit of time. And at the end of that 6 weeks, they're doing a 5K. And, you know, really even that they're able to go a little bit past that 5K.
That's
so
amazing.
I think that's the, you know, it doesn't, again, you think 6 weeks, oh, that's not a long time to change, you know, your performance. So I think that's pretty cool.
And how often do you offer those?
Oh, we do those usually 2 or 3 times a year.
Oh, cool.
So I anticipate we'll have another one coming up this summer.
Oh,
and
yes.
We'll kind of have to see with that. No different again. We have those open water swims, so taking advantage of those pieces. You know, the master swim team or the master swim club, I anticipate somewhere down the road will just be a regular part of our, again, finding the appropriate time to get people in there. But, you know, also not to interfere with our 3,000 members that we want to make sure that we're offering accommodations for everyone.
Yes. And I'm writing a new book, Norm, on Ernest Hemingway.
Okay.
And I read last night and I instantly started crying. His father took them out on a boat, the children, and said, okay, I'm throwing you in. You'll have to find your way back to the shore. None of them knew how to swim.
Oh my goodness.
How traumatizing would that be for him?
Yeah.
And for those siblings, there are like 6 of them. And I tell you what, the same thing happened to my mother, Mama T, who passed October 31st. I wrote a book about her. She was laying in the sun on the beach. The boys were teasing her and said, bet you don't know how to swim. Threw her in. Pulled her up, threw her in, and she was terrified of the water. She lived on the East Coast. And in 1982, I finally talked her into going to the YMCA in Minnesota. It was the St. Louis Park YMCA, and they taught her to swim. And then after that, she moved 16 times because they were on a fixed income. And whenever they raised the rent, she'd go with Daddy to a new apartment, had to have a pool. She had to swim. Don't you love it?
That's awesome.
No, right?
That's awesome.
Okay, any closing thoughts?
No, again, I just appreciate all the conversation, and again, if there's ever any questions, don't hesitate to come in and talk to one of the staff, talk to myself, you know, take a tour.
Right.
You know, we have this free Smart Start program for all of our members. And it doesn't mean, I think the misconception is you have to be a new member, and you don't. If you haven't done it before, we're happy. You could have been here for 10 years. If you're interested in goal setting, if you're interested in learning how to do some strength training or whatever that may be, or hey, I don't know how to operate this doggone stair climber.
Right.
You know, it's there for you. So, you know, we're there for your success. So take advantage of that.
Exactly. And the number 319-233-3531.
That's right.
And the website is
www.blackhawkymca.org.
Yes, and follow you on Facebook, Instagram, and all the rest.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Norm.
Thank you.
It's been a
pleasure.
pleasure.
It's been good.
See you at the triathlon, if not before
right.
in the track. Thank you, Norm.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.